How much influence do parents truly have today on their children's career choices?
Are very sure what they want their child to do.
That most of the parents still equate success with money and stability. So, how do we shift from this marks and degrees mindset to skill and fulfillment mindset?
Yes, the definition of success if for parents is certainly, have a good life.
Modern careers have changed, but has the parenting kept up? Let's deep dive into how parents can guide effectively in 2025 and beyond with the career coach Ishita Banerjee, who helps students and professionals discover their strengths, define their goals, and design meaningful global careers. She has guided over 100 students in identifying their best fit universities and programs across the globe, helping them craft compelling applications and make confident choices about their future. Let's welcome Ishita Banerjee. Thank you so much, Ishita, for taking out the time to do this podcast with us today.
Thank you so much, Ruchika, for having me. It's really a pleasure talking to you and hoping to speak to your audience.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ishita. So let's start by asking you, from your experience, how much influence do parents truly have today on their children's career choices?
Okay, that's actually quite a tricky question to answer as a counselor because one does get a lot of parents and different types of parents. Now, it'll be very difficult to kind of, statistically say as to what is the percentage of parents who are, deciding on base, for their children. But yes, in my experience, I would say I get parents who are very sure what they want their child to do. So they are coming already from a space of knowing what child wants to do. Probably the child is not in alignment with them, or somewhere has agreed that, okay, fine, if you're telling me I should do that. So you take a counseling to validate your choices. So there are some parents who come from that, from the point of view that, okay, see, this is what I told you is good for you. And it will work out well for you. So some people come for validation. Whereas there are a lot of parents actually, which I'm seeing a growing number of parents who are coming and saying that, hey, we don't really know what my child wants to do. We've tried, we failed. So, why don't we take a session and figure it out? So there are, different types of parents who I do meet with. And yeah, so but somewhere along the line, I think the one underlying fact is parents still would want to have that, say in
Okay,
what
yeah.
the child wants to do. Yeah.
Yeah, they still want to be in control because they
Somewhere,
feel that,
yes, yes.
yeah.
It stems from their belief that they know better.
Hmm.
So,
And they
we,
also have this huge experience behind them, so they think that they can
yeah,
advise better.
correct. So the thing is, they may have more experience. Like, okay, I won't say they because I'm also a parent. So I would say from my perspective, yes, as parents, we do have a lot of experience. But, I guess somewhere we need to be able to understand that there's a generational shift. When we were growing up, things were different, and we did not have access. Forget counseling, we didn't have access to knowledge, information. Nowadays, children are growing up in an age of information overdrive, which even parents are not able to process, to be very honest with you. We are also overwhelmed. So
Correct.
somewhere it's having a middle ground where information and experience meets guidance so that the child prospers.
So, are you observing this shift in parental attitude? Where now parents are more open and receptive to diverse and unconventional career paths?
I won't say that all parents are open to their children following a diverse career path because again, there are professionals who come to me who are lawyers, doctors, chartered accountants, and they still feel that their career is future proof and there is definitely the best career. Do your commerce and you'll be sorted. Or science is still seen as a very safe bet. Unfortunately, the mindset has not still changed where it's not subject a lot. Doing well in a subject does not necessarily translate into a career. So, stu unfortunately, parents are still obsessing with these kind of skills, things rather than focusing on skills, soft skills. How skills should be developed and how they can actually translate into having a good career. So, parents, not all parents, I would say, are open to exploring new careers.
Okay. So, in your view, why do even well-meaning parents struggle to recognize their child's real interest and potential?
Again, honestly, Ruchika, every parent is well-meaning because that is the role of parents. And the thing is, okay, again, it comes from the space of us knowing, so and we are not geared in a way that, or other families have not started probably thinking of careers. They have focused, our education system is so focused on grades and studying that the focus for a very long period is more of, okay, do well in these courses, do well in these subjects. So the conversation around careers never start happening. And
Yes.
when it starts happening, it's like pretty much grappling at the last minute that, okay, it's like an afterthought. So
And I think the focus is also a lot more around jobs than careers.
exactly, there's a distinction between jobs and careers. So again, there's a bit of a short-sightedness in terms of what kind of a job my child should do. What will what is success? So for them, it's I guess the time has come to define success as well. Right. So, and again, it is a safety route. You do these subjects, you do this course, and you will get a job. The end result is just getting a job. But knowing how the world is changing and the way AI in today's world has created that huge impact, the idea should not be just getting a job. The whole idea is to prepare yourself for an uncertain future.
So please enlighten us from your experience. How can parents guide their children without imposing their own fears, insecurities, and aspirations?
Uh, when you are guiding anyone, first and foremost, as a parent, you need to be very well informed. So do not come with a bias that, and do not constantly keep thinking that during our time it was done. We did not do it. So we have to kind of break away from that past and look at ourselves in the present. Do we have the set of knowledge? Are we aware ourselves? So do your research, look around, see what is happening, see what is changing. This gradually, again, it's a process for this child. The child has to be observed. If you as a parent want to be able to guide your child, you need to start observing and giving them the right kind of exposure at every specific age appropriate experiences. So when they are from their early years, like in the primary age, 6 to 10, we're not talking about careers, but we're talking about developing, understanding their strengths, developing their strengths, identifying which is an area that they are going to be excelling in. And slowly and steadily, honing that, again, not having that performance oriented approach that, you need to do this, you need to do well, you need to succeed. Those things have to be removed when before you're preparing yourself to guide. Then also from the age of 11 to 14, start having these conversations, like start reflecting, having reflective sort of conversations. What do you enjoy doing? What comes effortlessly to you? Or what tasks do you in like engaging in? So those are the things that you start having conversations with the child and giving them anecdotal what do you call, information. From 14 to 17, again, that is going to be a very crucial year when you are sort of planning the next move. And that's where you need to start having those structured uh, tools where get a psychometric assessment done. See the child's blueprint from his perspective. Go to an expert. Let them unpack the psychometric assessment. So as parents, we feel that, okay, my child has this, but somewhere the psychometric reveals something different. And there are various other aspects which come across, which as parents, we may not be really aware of. So that has to be done. Exposure to the real world, internships, mentoring, expert interactions. Slowly and steadily, if these kind of things are embedded in the journey, then it becomes a pleasant journey.
So, can you just suggest some effective ways in which parents can talk to their children, without triggering any resistance and pressure?
The resistance and pressure comes only, when you're trying to impose. When you're trying to make your child, put the child in the center and have conversations around what interests the child, then it's a different equation altogether. Then it's no pressure. So it's important to understand what the child wants to do, show the perspective. Now I'll give you a very small example. One student wanted to become a fashion designer. Her father was I think he was a CA, or yeah, he was a CA. He was insisting that she should become a CA. Now that is where the friction starts, right? So she came to me and she said, and when we did our assessments, and it was, everything was very creative oriented and all of that. But the father says that I don't want her to become a tailor at the end of the day. Now imagine if these are the kind of vocabularies you're using when your child is at a cusp, how demotivating can it be? So we have to watch what we speak. We have to be well informed. We have to keep the student at the center and, be able to string it, the career or aspirations around him or her.
A common complaint that parents have is that our children don't listen to us, but everyone else. So, how do you break that barrier?
So, I will say I would say I'm very happy when my parent, the parents come and tell me that they don't listen to me, but they're listening to you. So that is a great job as a counselor, and a great satisfaction that I do get. But I think that is a teenage problem.
But it's
It's
very
like
frustrating for
it's
parents.
it's like the ghar ki murgi dal barabar, and you are the parent. So I guess from the point of view of a child, the child is seeing you as a mother, you as a father, and has a school ecosystem where they see teachers and guide counselors and all of them. So for them to probably see that shift, that parent is trying to my mother is trying to say this to me, so I need to break away and do something else. So this is again a very teenage problem. It is all across. Again, it's how you can build those dynamics at home, having healthy conversations, maybe going out, for a coffee break with your child, and having no agenda, where you're not talking about what the child wants to do. You're not talking about anything. Pick up a book, discuss a book. So those are the things that have to change in the household. Otherwise the child feels that I'm always being judged, I'm always being told what to do, I'm not heard. The biggest problem is they feel that we are not being heard. The moment there is a shift in that, it's a different equation altogether. And not
And
obsess as
yeah, and
parents.
yeah,
Yeah,
correct. And listening also, like listening not to just respond or react, but listening to actually deeply understand what they have to
exactly,
say.
exactly.
Hmm.
Listen to them. Give Okay, if they want, if they have something that you are not agreeing with, tell them to give you valid reasons why they should agree to you. It's not that uh, they don't have the information. They probably, as I said earlier, they have more information than we do. So it's important to listen to them as individual. Don't listen to them. Don't think that, oh, they were it's at 7 years. So again, another example is my father's telling a child's father, saying that my son was different in grade 7 and 8 and 9, and now he's come to 12th, he's totally different. Obviously he's going to be different. So, as a parent, we need to grow a little more as well. And in fact, we need to grow also with the child.
Yeah. Their voice needs to be heard, as they are
Yeah.
growing up. So, another issue that parents often face is that they observe their child is indecisive and keeps on changing the interest frequently. So, how do you handle that situation as a parent?
Uh, as a parent or as a counselor, yes, changing. This is a common phenomenon amongst children, and somewhere I would say, in India we do not have the flexibility to allow students to change. Like in the US, you go into college. In the first year, you're studying a whole gamut of subjects, general education, and then by the time you're in your second year, you decide and declare your major. And in the US, big students do change their major a couple of times. So it is a very common knowledge that at this age of 17, no one can be so decisive that this is what I want to do. Having said that, if the child is studying in India, and since we do not have that flexibility, at least let him study subject that he likes to study in the undergrad level, and develop those right skill sets. Once he is a little more matured, by the time the student is perhaps in their second year, third year, they would know exactly what kind of a career this job is going to this course is going to give me. And that is where I think liberal arts curriculum comes into play, which is
That's
growing in India.
correct. That's true. I mean, thanks to so many emerging liberal art colleges in India,
Yes.
we are being given a similar environment. Uh,
Absolutely. I will still not say it's as robust as the
evolved,
American
yeah.
one, but yeah, so interests do change, uh, and we really can't tell the student that we can't pin them down. It's very difficult. But at least if you feel that my the student likes commerce and math, don't put him in a traditional CA route. Let him explore entrepreneurship, BBA in marketing, and there's always higher studies, right? So you finish your graduation, do a few years of work experience, and then go ahead and do your master's or an MBA. by which time you're mature enough to understand where you're going. But skills are very important to develop.
So, in order to enable parents to allow their kids to make career choices which are not very traditional and set in stone, what can parents do to keep themselves informed about these new age and emerging career paths so that their guidance remains relevant with their children?
Correct. This is a pertinent question, Ruchika, because here I wouldn't say it's just the parents. I think the school plays a critical role in keeping parents informed. The school needs to, parents are busy people. They are doing their various other things. They're busy in their day-to-day
Correct.
routine. So it is a bit of a ask for for us as counselors that parents should be absolutely 100% on top of the game. So the school should be doing career information sessions. If the school is not doing, I think the parents should reach out to the school and say that, hey, why don't you organize something? Show us what the world of work is going to look like in the next 10 years. And if once that is done, then if you understand what kind of an interest the student has, try to reach out to your network, see, okay, now suppose a student is very interested in, say, visual, design, or, something related to visual communication or something like that. And if you know someone who is doing that job, let them go and do a short internship. Let them understand exactly how the real world works. Does it capture my attention? Does it capture my imagination? Do I see myself doing that? So dig into your uh, network is what I would say. Then ChatGPT, thanks to AI, it's revolutionized the way we work, the way we search, the way we operate. So you have any doubt, I think even if you don't have a go-to person just for information, ask ChatGPT. My child wants to do this, has interest in these things. What do you think is the projection of this kind of a career? So it's going to give you a great explanation and then perhaps get it validated by
So,
someone.
so you just mentioned, that school has a pivotal role to play, in this whole gamut of career guidance and counseling. Can you delve a little deeper into how can schools as well as counselors collaborate with parents in order to create a more balanced and an informed, a more balanced and informed approach to career guidance?
Hmm. Uh, you know, that is again the critical role is how good is the guidance department of the school. Because again, you can't work in isolation, right? Nowadays, it's not a silo that I tell you this is what has to be done and you do it. The school needs to organize, say, career fairs where they do get industry experts to come and have conversations with students, have a career day sort of a thing. Even if it's not a career fair, have a career day. Some expert coming and talking. That can be done. Then organize, exhibitions, college exhibitions where various colleges come and showcase their courses. There are so many colleges that have so many different types of courses which we are not even aware of.
Correct.
There are universities who are making bold decisions to come up with very bold courses. So if the school does not provide us those kind of informations, it's very difficult to look for them.
Mhm.
So that kind of a collaboration role the school has to do.
And what about the role of technology like career assessments, aptitude tests? How do they play a pivotal role in helping parents make informed decisions?
See, this any psychometric assessment on its own will not be enough to make a decision. It all
Okay.
depends on the kind of counselor that you are going to and the kind of conversations that the counselor is having with the student. That ultimately enables the student to decide and get a perspective. The reason why psychometric assessments become important is it gives a blueprint. It takes out a, where the student is, when he's taking those assessments, he's taking it at a in a non-judgmental area, giving honest answers. So if you give an honest answer, you get an honest output. And when you get that output, you have those reasons and those questions to ask the students. So sometimes the parents are even quite surprised that, oh, I didn't think that my child was interested in design or drawing. But he's answered those questions. So it's a combination of things. We understand the personality of the student. On all these psychometric assessments have been around for years together, and they have just evolved with every century, and the way the world of work has also changed. So they are all very recent. So it's not going to showcase what it was 50 years ago. So you see the career inventory, see the MBTI personality, see the skills and abilities of the students. Put all of them together, and then we have a discussion with the child. So these assessments become very important when a student is confused or sitting on the fence. Parents also need that validation. So this is a good tool.
Okay. Now, you would have observed, and we see it too. I'm a parent too, and I would admit, I would confess that somewhere maybe, I have a similar mindset, if not too ingrained, that most of the parents still equate success with money and stability. So, how do we shift from this marks and degrees mindset to skill and fulfillment mindset? Why is it, why this shift still so hard, even though we claim to be very progressive in our thinking?
Correct, correct. I think it was maybe the Gen Alpha is going to redefine what happiness and success is all about, because I really don't know what kind of a world of work they are going to be getting into. But yes, the definition of success, if for parents, is certainly have a good life, which would mean having money and all of those things. I think it's a very tricky question and very difficult for us to definitively say that that should not be something that guides you. Yes, but there could be other elements also along with success, with money. Maybe would philanthropy be will philanthropy make you happy? And uh, so yeah, so that is actually a very, very difficult question to
Like Steve Jobs
answer.
always says, like the famous quote of Steve Jobs is, love what you do what you love, because until you love what you do, you will never
Never
excel in
to
that field.
exactly, exactly. So again, this is great. Like, even for that matter, looking at ikigai, in doing your work with purpose, having purpose in your life.
Yeah.
So all these things are very important, but ultimately the guiding factor is, oh, will I make that money? Purpose without a bank balance really does not make anyone happy, to be very
Yeah.
honest
But
with
how
you.
much of bank balance is good enough?
Exactly. That is, you'd be surprised that there are students who say that I mean, I ask them, okay, what's your goal in life? What will make you happy? Ma'am, to become a millionaire.
Mm.
To become a
Hmm.
millionaire. I said, oh, fine, great. You want to be a millionaire, great. By when do you want to be a millionaire? Says, by the time I turn 30. Now, you're finishing your college by the age of 21, 22. You've not even started working, and you're just giving yourself 4 to 5 years to become a millionaire. Now, that is a sure sign of getting into a trap.
Hmm.
So, okay, money will give you happiness, money will give you success, but keep that at a as a goal which is achievable in the future. Don't start off with that goal that, the moment I finish my college, I'm going to get a million, 10 lakh worth rupee job.
That's an unrealistic
That's an
expectation.
unrealistic expectation.
Yeah.
So mm, everyone has to redefine what happiness means to them.
And we have also seen in our own experience that if you are far away from your innate strengths and innate interest, later on, a decade, 2 decade later, you end up swerving your career.
Absolutely. Because in any case, as it says that this generation is going to at least have seven different types of careers. So it is a very fluid world that we are entering, or we have already entered. And that's the reason everything boils down to doing what you are interested in doing. If you're interested in doing something, then the roadblocks or the challenges that come is not going to deter you from achieving your goal. So yeah, that is definitely, and I would say adaptability as a skill set is very important to have. Resilience, adaptability, those will be the skills which will help you take propel you forward,
Yeah,
changing constantly.
yeah, absolutely. The ability to adapt to the changing situations and changing behaviors of the people. So, how important family values and principles are in shaping the personality of the child, because, a lot of times a parent's attitude towards failure has a great influence on a child's confidence and the career choices that they make in future.
Yeah. See, you asked about importance of values, right? Family values are definitely critical in shaping a child, forget a student, shaping any human being. That is what is always going to stay with us. Now, again, it is the mindset of the parents who are equating uh, marks with success. I again, I can't blame them for doing so, because again, that is the ecosystem that we have grown up in, where failure was definitely looked down upon. Uh, but yes, we need to be able to get the signal that if my child is not doing well, there must be a reason. So let's reassess what is not working for them. And once we are in a position to reassess it from an objective point of view, we will probably not look at it as a failure. We'll look at it as a signal that yes, something is not working, and try to mitigate that situation.
Yeah, and as they say, mistakes or failures are nothing but, the lessons to be learned.
Correct. Ruchika, the reason why I don't quote these things is because they're great as quotations, but when it comes to applying it to yourself, it becomes a bit of a challenge. So I'm speaking from a very from a more of a humanistic aspect, that while we know that failures are stepping stones to success, but the immediate repercussion or the immediate shock that we have as a parent, I'm a parent, so why should I say that I have not been upset when my child has not scored well. Uh, we it could be that I feel maybe yes, she has the potential. Why is she not doing well? What is it that is not working? So then then you start analyzing it, and eventually, yes, rather than no, I would say not telling the child that, hey, you're not capable of it. It could be changing the conversation that, hey, you're capable of a lot more.
Mm.
And let's assess why this has happened, and let's try to work for a solution and
Yeah, it's very
look at
important for a parent to have a reflective attitude, reflect upon, like you said, where we need to reassess and redirect ourselves rather than react that might and label or judge the child that he's not or she's not good enough.
exactly, absolutely, very well put, Ruchika, because it is self-reflection. And if we are asking the student child to do reflection, why should we not do that?
Yeah, yeah,
So again, we need to learn a lot more as well. And the more we reflect, the more we understand the why of the situation. And that's how we kind of become partners with our child rather than becoming an enemy. That.
yeah, yeah. Like they say, in order to raise a child, a parent needs to raise themselves first.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, what would be, if I have to ask you to give an advice to a parent, what would be those two, three things that a parent should either start doing or stop doing while guiding their children?
There's a lot of things that this parent should stop doing. Firstly, don't think of how y'all did it, how we did it, and that it needs to be followed. I guess, you know, as a parent, you probably need to start identifying the strengths, the behaviors, the preferences. Give little more weightage to those aspects. Don't look at marks. Don't look at subject speciality. So have very reflective conversations with your child. Don't, you know, be a learner as well. As a parent, we forget that we too are learners. And if we don't give them the signal that, hey, I want to understand from you, giving them that position of, value, that you are capable of telling me something. So don't label your child that, hey, he's very indecisive, he's frequently changing his mind. That's fine. That's a process. That's a process of growing up. That's a process of maturing into a human being. And yeah, just if you feel that you are not able to really contribute, don't don't blame yourself for it. Don't think that, hey, I'm a failure as a parent, that I have not been able to do that. And take help, reach out to a counselor. So we are in this world, in this profession, we are seeing thousands of students. We're seeing so many careers evolve. So we're probably a little better informed.
Yeah. And I think it's important for parents to look beyond competitions and comparisons. I think it's very
Exactly.
easy for us to start comparing our children to others.
Oh, my God, of course, that is always the case. And again, comparing is perhaps the worst thing that we can do as a parent. And just imagine, let's flip it. How would it be like if we are told that, you know, XYZ's mother is so much better than you. XYZ's mother cooks much better than you. If we are not going to like it, why would they like it? So let us just have be a little more realistic.
And I think the world is also moving towards collaboration than comparison and competitions.
Collaboration, unless and until a child is able to collaborate today, it's going to be quite a
Very,
doomsday for them, because these are the critical skill sets that need to develop. You can't be someone getting all the medals and thinking that, hey, I'm such a super achiever, but when it
mm,
comes to working with other people, you're not
mm,
able to do that.
right, right.
So
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ishita. You've given us some really profound insights and advice into how parents can evolve and become a better version of themselves while they are trying to, guide, support, and steer their children in a right direction. Thank you
Well,
so much once again. We greatly appreciate your time and expertise.
thank you so much, Ruchika. And I think there should be a disclaimer in your channel that whatever is said is her own opinion, and whatever disclaimer you'll normally put.
No,
But thank you.
absolutely.
I spoke from my heart, and if it touches someone, then I'll be blessed.
Thank you. You were listening to No Herd Mentality Career Conversations. Please subscribe to our channel for more such in depth conversations on different careers, courses, countries. I'm Ruchika signing off on behalf of No Herd Mentality. Thank you.